make sure you copy these two addresses. The first address will give you lots of suttas. If you are teaching or you're doing research, lots of universities and scholars that use this website, you just read the simple parts. There are various levels of sutta, some difficult, some easy, so everything is there. You choose what you want. Now then the easy one is Facebook. This is a very fun place where you should read what I write. Some things are really funny, some things are quite nasty, nasty in the sense that something's wrong, I will say it is wrong, So Facebook, right? Yes?
You mentioned that the Dharma is the refuge, but have the understanding that the ultimate refuge is the unconditioned, it's called the island that cannot go beyond.
Unconditioned.
The ultimate refuge is the Dharma itself.
Yeah, sure, you can put it that way if you want. This one's a metta of language. The ultimate goal, right? Here, the word refuge, sarana, is used in the conventional worldly sense for people like us here, where we can go to in our difficulties. Ultimately, of course, is the unconditioned, that's nirvana. Okay, we don't have to wait until the end to experience nirvana. There's a series of wonderful suttas, very short suttas, where the Buddha said, "I will teach you the nirvana pariyayena, pariyaya. Pariyaya means by way of analogies, right? Simplified, something like that. For example, we are very angry about something, and then we investigate, we found that, actually we have no reason to be angry, there's nothing wrong here. Or we do metta and we say, let go, no anger, may all beings be well and happy, anger is gone. Then you reflect, wow, just now I was angry, now anger is gone. Where has the anger gone? Nowhere. That nowhere is nirvana. It is just a temporary experience. Now imagine if you make that permanent, say, wow, it's amazing, no suffering, right? So that's just a moment, a glimpse of nirvana, okay? So this is called pariyaya, in other words, by analogy, right? So in a sense, you can experience nirvana in a sense, but just briefly, right? And then we forget about it, you see? So ultimately, you still have to reach the goal of nirvana. Yes, in that sense, nirvana is the ultimate refuge, right? That's one refuge you will never fall away from. Okay, good. Any other questions?
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
What is streaming? I just Googled, but I still cannot understand.
Yeah. Okay, yes. I should have started by talking about that. I thought you all have been here for so long, many of you know a lot of things.
They have not.
Yes. That's very true. Okay, now, in Buddhism we talk of the path. Buddhism is a path. That means, a path means you must travel on it. You must walk on it. You must make an effort. All right? You do it yourself. No one can do it for you. If you are sick, you must take the medicine for you. Even someone loves you very much, say, I love you very much, I'll take the medicine for you. You still won't get well. All right? Some religion try to tell you that, don't worry, I'll do everything for you. You can't, right? All right. So the question now is, what are the things that trouble us? Number one, we are very self-centered. Everything is I, me, my. We have this idea, I, usually, Of course, this is helpful if you are a baby, This baby is helpless. So the first thing baby is born, he cries very loud. That is his lifesaver, the alarm, At 4 o'clock in the morning, he yells because he's hungry, And we got to run and help this baby. And so this to make sure the baby survives. But the problem is, we keep on attracting attention to ourselves even after we are adults. So this I-ness is always there, right? And this causes us suffering also because we like to draw attention to ourselves, self-centeredness, then we are not able to see from other people's points of view. We're not able to see more broadly. This is a very tricky situation. This is number one. First problem is called a self-view. Self-identity view. We tend to associate we say I, my body is me. Or this is my body, you know. So this is what some people who like to smoke will tell you. Oh, it's my body, you know, so I can smoke, you know. So even if what happens to me, it's my body. My reply is, it's not your body, because if you drop dead, I have to clear it up, you know. Right? So this person thinks that, my body, you know, it's not your body. We all are interconnected. Yeah, we inhabit this body temporarily. Yeah, but the first point is people have this idea, I. Number two, people feel that they can't solve their own problems. All right? So they like to perform rituals. Actually, it's called magic, you know. They think that they got to bow 10,000 times for the Buddha and something wonderful will happen. Or they burn so many candles or something, they make a wish, you know. Or, very often, they come here, you don't have a big donation box here, you should have one, you know. They put $10 in there, they say, oh Buddha, please give me $1 million. You know, something like that. Okay, what I'm trying to say is, people have this idea that they want something good without working for it. All right? So they start believing that the solutions to their problems can be found outside, in other people, gurus and things and prayers and so on, when they don't realize the problem starts inside. So what the Buddha is saying is, the real solution is inside you. If you look inside you, understand what's inside you, you will solve your problem at the roots. All right, so there's a second problem, superstition. Superstition means looking for answers outside of yourself when the solution is really inside you. Superstition, all right? The third problem, they're called fetters, you know. Anyway, third problem is doubt. We're always made to doubt, oh, you're not good enough, you're bad, you're born bad, and so on. You know, some religions tell you that. But Buddhism says, no such thing, right? The mind, by nature, is bright. When you meditate, you see the bright mind, okay? So there you have these three fetters, things which hold us back. Self-identity, superstition, and number three is doubt. Okay, so when you have these three things, you will never be truly happy. If you can overcome all these three, in other words, you let go of the idea of, you don't say this body is me or my mind is me. There's no me at all, because I'm changing all the time. My whole body and mind is changing. All right. There's only continuity. Okay, so that's the opposite. Number two, you say the problems arise in me. So it's the way I think. If I think wisely, clearly, I will solve my problems. I don't have to rely on anything outside. I can change things outside me, in fact. Number three, I don't have any doubts, because if I make an effort, the effort will bring results. So why should I doubt? Because if I am not my own master, who can my master be? As the Dhammapada says, okay? Now, if you have these three things, you regularly think like this, and you reflect on impermanence, you become a stream winner. It's called stream winner because the Buddha compares the path this time to like a stream. Because the stream also can be a path, you see? The path for boats. This is based on the parable of the ancient city. Nirvana is like an ancient city, a jungle of ignorance, but it's still there. There are still people, the ancients are living there by themselves. So one day this discoverer discovers this ancient city. You all know who the discoverer is, it's the Buddha, right? So now, what we do is, if you're a stream winner, you go down into the boat, all right? Because in boat quay, the boat is lower than the bank, so you go down into the boat. But in Singapore, you go up into the ship, you see, because the ships are very big, right? So we go down into the boat. It's called, in Pali, it's called Okanta, Okanta. In fact, the whole chapter here is called the going down into the boat chapter, all right? So you go down to the boat, and then the boat goes upstream. Not downstream, doesn't follow the flow of the river, but it goes upstream to the ancient city. So it's a stream winner. it goes against the stream upwards towards the ancient city, which is nirvana. So it's called stream winner because we join the stream to awakening. That's one meaning, stream. The other meaning is the path. So you take the first step, real first step, you are sure to awaken within 7 lives at the most, in order to become arahat, like the Buddha. But even then, meantime, as a stream winner, you will never be reborn in the subhuman planes. You will never be reborn as a temple cat, temple dog. I mean, these people have done good things, but not enough, so reborn as temple cat, temple dog, But you can't meditate as a cat or a dog, And if you are a preta, it's worse, right? So we don't want to be born in the lower realms. You see, another thing I've been talking about in the translation of the suttas about devas, all these devas, you see, this. Remember that story I was telling about, where these devas say, "Oh, look at this Dandana grove, so beautiful. You have not seen this grove. You have not seen heaven." And then the elder deva scolds this deva and said, "You're very foolish. Say this is all impermanent. After this comes suffering." Because this wise deva knows that the devas, they know when they're going to pass away. Certain signs will arise. For example, their clothing will become soiled. These are the sense world devas, the lower worlds. They will sweat in the armpits, they get angry easily, and things like that. So in other words, they know that they're going to pass away. And then they have visions of where they're going to be reborn. It's frightening when they see these things. So imagine these devas are enjoying life, like long Club Med holiday. So when they see all this place which is different from their heavenly place, they are shocked, they're frightened. So their last thought is not happy, the devas. When their last thought is not happy, they always are reborn in hell state. So heaven is the back door to hell, according to this teaching. Now I'm not just playing with words here, because there is a game called Snakes and Ladders. You know who invented snakes and ladders? The Indians. It didn't come from the UK or US, It was invented in India to teach this thing which I've just told you. Ladders, you go up, good karma, okay, you go up. Snakes, bad karma, you go zoom down. That is samsara. The Jains, the Buddhists use this game to teach the people this samsara is very uncertain. You go up, down, up, down. All right? So the stream winner means you are sure to go along the path. Slow and steady. 7 lives is quite long, Right? So because you are reborn as a Brahma, so many world cycles is a long time. So all these numbers are relative. So stream winning is the first step towards walking the path of awakening. Now, I translate as path of awakening, not to awakening, because walking through the path is itself, slowly you change. Your understanding becomes clearer. That's your awakening. It's like you slowly wake up in the morning like that. You don't suddenly just wake up like that. You gradually wake up. Normally, your body wake up. Which one wake up first? Normally, the mind wake up first, right? And then slowly the body wake up. The body wakes up a little later, right? So this waking up is slowly, right? So this starts with stream winning. So is that clearer now? Okay. Any other question? Anyway, I will give you this book if you want. Just email me, or I have not put my email later. I think maybe Ratna can write the email for them. Any other? You can also message me through Facebook. I have lots of students overseas. It's a global community, the Facebook. We have people all over the world. Some far away from Peru and Canada and so on, and they have no center like this, so they study suttas on this website. Yes?
This, the number 5, Anusaya Sutta, when I check on the net, is actually Uttara 7.11 and 7.12.
Oh, that's why I said there are many suttas called Anusaya Sutta, Many, that's why you have this Saḷ-āyatana, and you must see the number S 35.58.
So I have to go to Sambuddha 35.
Yeah, that's why you must look at the number. Yeah, that's what happens long ago when I tried. I say, oh, I've got so many of them, same name, you see. Now, this is one of the problems the editors had, how to name the suttas. Many of the suttas got same names. Because they are all in different sections of the Tripitaka, huge Tripitaka, So you got to tell yourself from which Nikaya. And in the Nikaya, from which chapter is it then easier. So this is what the brackets help, okay? You see, now it's so easy to locate the sutta. No? Anywhere you have this magical screen, you just click it, the Dharma is with you everywhere. Yes? Sure.
How does one know one able to get first insight knowledge? First insight knowledge.
Insight knowledge. Yeah, this is very tricky because this is like when you pass your exam, you don't know the moment of passing. All right, you have set for your exam, and then you go to your school or university, and you look at the list. The moment you see your name there, say, oh, I passed, okay? All right, but then you cannot say that's the moment you pass, right? So when is the moment you pass? Is it when the teacher gives the last pass or total your marks? So it's very tricky to find out where's that exact moment is. So normally the teachers will tell you realize this through retrospect. You look back, you say, okay, so far I've never done this thing, my faith is strong, so looks like this is the level I've attained. So you must know a lot of Dharma, because if you don't know, you will just be guessing, you see, right? Another way is you meet with a very good teacher, maybe the Buddha himself in the future, then he will tell you, right? The important thing is go on working, go on practicing. You find that your life you're at peace with yourself, you're keeping the precepts, and you are peaceful with people. For the moment, that's good enough. Whether we know we have attained levels or not is secondary. In fact, the Buddha often advised the monks never to declare to others what levels they are at or to show the power. It's because people will misinterpret those things. They will think that is the Dharma. Imagine I sit here and I talk to you, and suddenly I float up into the air, All right? But you don't know why I float up into the air. Then after that, you say, wow, this Piya is really wonderful. So you believe everything I say, just because I rose up into the air. But remember, all those magicians who can do it, right? I learned from them, but I won't tell you how I did it. So, the Buddha says, you cannot judge people by the so-called miracles they do, because there are explanations for these things. It is not the standard of truth, right? So, and there are a lot of suttas telling you this, the Buddha wants to say, do not think that a teacher is only attained because he looks very old, very wise, or because he's lots of titles, or because he's very rich, or because he's clever. You have to realize it yourself, not because of others. When you are hungry, you have to eat. You cannot say, oh, my wife is already full, so I don't have to eat. It doesn't make sense, right? So, go on with your practice. How do you know your practice is right? You feel at peace, you feel happy, you go on practicing it like that, okay? So, we never ask, have I attained any levels yet? We just go on practicing. And then you find you're happy. You find you're happy, that means it's the right path. Then one day you look back, it's called, there are special terms for this, in the Abhidhamma, for example, it's called Paccavekkhanyana. In other words, it's called review knowledge. You look back and then you kind of know, okay, I've attained this level. But then you must have a lot of Dharma. You must be very well trained Dharma to recognize all those things. But practice is more important, okay? Any other questions?
Brother Tan,
yes.
So now most of us know our clear goal to achieve in this lifetime. we also have a GPS or method to teach us how to walk this path. Is there other way to speed up the process? Things like if we exam, we can sit for tuition.
Oh, yes.
Whether change our lifestyle, stay in the forest.
It really depends on your good karma, your inclinations, okay? So you got to look at yourself, say, what am I happiest with? Okay? What am I best at? For example, I realized, wow, this is something I like to do, sutta translation, right? Now, to reflect on impermanence and to do it regularly will help you to keep your precepts well, help you to be at peace with yourself, so in that way you'll be a good Buddhist, right? And you will reach, when it comes to the end, you attain streamwinning, okay? How do we speed this up? Well, notice in this case, you don't have to do deep meditation. No need jhanas. Nowadays, sometimes jhana can become quite fashionable. We all talk about jhana and say, wow, wonderful. But I can't attain jhana and I feel so bad about it. Well, you don't need jhana to attain streamwinning. You go step by step. Because if you can get streamwinning, then you start building up the conditions that will help you to lead a peaceful life. When you have a peaceful life, you can meditate better. When you can meditate better, you can do jhana. When you can do jhana, you can attain non-return arahathood. And you have 7 lives to do that. No rush. You see? So, in a manner of speaking, okay? All right? Yeah. And the interesting thing is this. If you have this kind of aspiration, you will never break the precepts consciously. And that's very important. So in other words, that's why the sutta says this is the sure path. So how do you speed it up? You can do more meditation. That's one way. Do more meditation. All right? Because when you do more meditation, your mind is clearer, then you find you're able to let go more of your body's distractions. Because what distracts us most are our 5 senses. We are dependent on the 5 senses. And the mind, the 6th sense. Now, once you attain jhana, because the jhana's joy is so refined, you no more are attracted to bodily pleasure. That is why the non-returner doesn't return to this sense world anymore, because he's not attracted to any sense pleasures. So you need jhanas. That's why monks have to meditate, so that they overcome any kind of attachment to sensual pleasures. So to speed up, you go on to do meditation. Of course, if you got to practice well. If you can't, then you go on building up your precepts, doing sutta study. Because sutta study helps you a lot, because it shows you, explains to you all this, what's happening and so on. Then you say, oh, now I see this. Then you become more peaceful. Then you find it's easier to meditate. So it all builds up like that. So you got to see what is your personality. So it's not the same for everyone. Okay? So I would say a simple answer is, the next step would be to somehow slowly, gently build up your meditation. Find out more about it. And then slowly try this. See which one works. There are many kinds of meditation. Choose the best combination to get a peace of mind. And always remember, it is not how long you sit, it is how well you sit. The reflection and impermanence is also one of the 40 kinds of meditation. It's called Anicca Sanya. Anicca Sanya. Sanya is a set of meditation where the object's already there, you watch it. You recognize it, Sanya. Anicca Sanya, Dukkha Sanya, Anatta Sanya. But those Anatta Sanya is a bit difficult. Dukkha Sanya also not easy. We don't like dukkha sanya because we see suffering, I can't take it. The anicca is the easiest. So start with anicca. Okay? Any other question? We still have a bit of time. Yes?
We're not supposed to have craving. But if we say we want to make this life be a stream and any craving.
Okay. Well, there is good craving and there is bad craving. Right? Craving is a neutral term. Of course, when we say craving is bad, of course we mean the bad craving. There is something called Dhamma tanha. Tanha means craving. Tanha, actually, tanha means thirst. Okay, So thirst, in a way, is a good sign. It means you need water, right? But here, of course, thirst psychological. So Dharma Tanha is good in the sense that you want to find out more. What is the Dharma? You practice it. Provided you practice it, you don't collect the Dharma, you don't knock down people with the Dharma, you see. So the craving is good. Craving for good, right? Even the word chanda, you see, chanda sometimes means motivation, will. It can be good, it can be bad, depends where you direct it. So when there is desire for good, we don't usually use craving, we use diligence, aspiration, like that, yeah. Okay, so it is the attitude of mind towards what you want in life, right? Okay, here's your chance to ask all those questions you have not been able to ask. Or maybe you're not satisfied with the answer from other people, so you can ask.
List that you're passing around to collect email address.
Oh, okay. Ratna says there's a piece of paper being passed around to collect the email addresses. Where is it now? So make sure it comes back to Ratna. Nah? Okay, that's for the email. Wait, this brother first, yeah?
I have a busybody questions. In Methodology, we feel very, very lucky, fortunate when many Dharma friends come and share with us about all this knowledge. So, shall I say, we know we are walking the right path. But in Buddhism, there are many other traditions. Our friends or this follow other traditions, Japanese or other type of practices. Sometimes I try to explain to them that this path is the right one, but not that easy.
Yeah,
so my questions, I'm sure all of us have these questions. How much shall we try to help them?
Yeah. My answer is a very simple one. Remember what it's called the Asaji effect. Do you know what is the Asaji effect? You heard of Asaji? Do you remember who is Asaji? He's one of the first 5 monks, right? I think he's the youngest of the first 5 monks, I think, And it's a very famous story about Asaji going on alms round, and then Sariputta meets him. The wanderer Sariputta, at that time he was not a monk yet. The moment Sariputta sees Asaji, he is inspired, not by what Asaji says, by how Asaji looks, very peaceful. Then he follows, he's very respectful, Sariputta. He knows Asaji is going around alms round, so he don't want to disturb him. He follows him, and Asaji collects food. And then when food collected, when Asaji sits down, he prepares the seat for Asaji, gives him water and so on, so kind of serves him, and then waits for him when he finishes eating, and then only he asks a question. He asks Asaji, who is your teacher, what is the Dharma you have mastered, and so on. Okay, and just by listening to the 4-line saying, he became 2 lines. Here's 2 lines, become a Streamwinner. So Sariputta is special, he kind of is ready, see. So my point here is, Asaji effect is show your friends how peaceful and happy you are. Show them how happy and peaceful you are. Somehow, the ones who are ready will come to you one day and ask, how come you're so happy? Well, I see so much problem, but you're always happy and calm. They want to know why. Then you tell them, it's because I follow the historical Buddha's teaching. He teaches very simple way. He teaches to reflect on impermanence. No need to do all these rituals. No need to show them you're happy, and they will want to know for themselves. Because if they're happy with their religion, fine. Okay, but if they're not happy, that means something is going on. Maybe they don't know how to get out. See? So they need help. Then that's when you can help them. In our Facebook, one of the reasons why I started Facebook is because there's this group of people who really want to know the suttas. They only want to know early Buddhism. So I got one friend, he has joined some of this really big international cult where the owner has got 93 Rolls Royces, and he also is a guru to the Beatles and so on, a lot of problems, with this. So this poor man was one of his inner circle workers, So he suspected something's going on here. But it's very hard to get out. Finally, he did get out after this guru died. But he was traumatized. Very difficult for him to be normal. So he was, for many years, he had a lot of psychological difficulties. But he was one very wonderful man. He managed somehow to heal himself. But when I first met him, he was still very suspicious, argumentative. He didn't trust early Buddhism. So we weren't talking about it for a few years. And then finally he felt that early Buddhism is the safest thing to practice. Then I told him, I said, the best way to keep in touch is Facebook. Because there anytime you can question me and I can make postings. They said, oh no, not Facebook, people write nonsense. I said, not this Facebook. We will put the precepts there. These people, the precepts, right? And that's true enough. Now this Facebook is only for early Buddhism. So we have people like him there. So they've gone through a lot of suffering. So they know what they're talking about when they talk about suffering. So when people are suffering, you must be ready there. It's not easy to help them, but there's always something you can do for them by listening to them, by telling them, I'm always here for you. I may not know how to help you, but I'm always here for you. All right? So you find somehow they will appreciate your friendship. And then that helps them to be healed. All right? So that's why we call it Dharma friendship. Yeah? True friendship, good friendship. Kalyana Metta. All right? Spiritual friendship. Okay. Any other question? Yes.
Following on that, I think that is one aspect of it, that is the passive way, waiting for people to be ready. What about the active ways? Mm-hmm. It's just like precept is the passive way. What about the active part of it, of doing goods?
This is one active way. You are present there. Now, you see, up to a certain point, Buddhism is active, but we are not intrusive. It's quite different. So we are showing the world, I'm always there. All right? For example, like now, you invite me here, I make sure you all know at least 2 addresses, things like that, So I talk to you, I say, now you know these other contacts. So you got to keep on informing them, keep on telling them to read the Dharma. Nowadays, people say, I don't want books, I'd rather read the soft copy. The real thing is they're lazy to read, So never mind, okay, you say, all right, you want soft copy, there, you can go onto the website. You want books, there you are. So all these are available. They have choices. Give them the choices. Keep on telling them. This is called, what do you call that? It's called Dharma fairing. You are going out there spreading the message. Ever since the monks, there were 60 monks. Remember the Buddha sent out the 60 monks in 60 different directions. Now you call that proactive. So in other words, wherever you go, be ready. You tell people about Buddhism, but you don't have to tell them it is Buddhism. It's just a label. You tell them Buddhism, but don't tell them it is Buddhism. You know what I mean? Yeah? It's just like they're hungry, you give them the soup. You don't have to tell them, it is this brand. You just give them the soup. They say, this is good soup. You come again, I give you more soup. Right? So sometimes when I write my reflection also, I do it that way. I don't mention Buddhism, but it is Buddhism. So these are some of the ways you can reach out to others, wherever you are. So the difference is wherever you are. Okay? So if you are a kind of person, you have this magnetic personality, people say, I like you, you're so peaceful. Well, you can start your own Dharma group, something like that. So that's being proactive. All right? And I have friends like that, who study Dharma with me, and then they find that they can start their own group in their own house. Singapore, you have so many temples and groups, so he started one in his own house. And then we have Sutta study. So this is another way. All right?
So the same topic.
Yes.
This is questions about reaching out. So there are different schools of thoughts. I guess what Brother Tai mentioned is something like a repackaging, don't label Buddhism.
Yes.
but there are also other traditions that go even further, make it like a very simple, easy approach, 方便法门, very this simplistic way of this so-called Dharma teaching. To the degree sometimes you wonder whether is there any elements of misleading or
Yes.
So how low should we go?
You have to be honest to yourself. You can cheat some of the people all the time. You can cheat all the people some of the time, but not all the people all the time. So you have to tell them the truth. Because if you tell them the wrong thing and they believe you, you've created bad karma. So it's a self-responsibility. All right? So you've got to teach them the right thing. Now, we cannot be too concerned about them because we have to make sure we are building up our own spiritual development too. Right? So know your strength, see how far you can go by yourself. Okay? Yeah. Okay, a few minutes more. Yes?
In the suttas, we do come across a lot of cases where just hearing what the Buddha says and we get into stream entry.
Yes, even arahathood, yes.
But why is it that now we have so much of resources yet we are
Well, obviously the resources don't work. Or we don't put the resources to good use. Okay? But personally, for me, the suttas work. I'm very happy. I don't think anything else makes sense without the suttas. Now, those great arahats like Sariputta, remember the story of Sariputta, how he became an arahat? It's an amazing story, He just by listening. He was standing there fanning the Buddha, remember? And then his nephew, Tiganaka, was very angry with the Buddha that he's been converting his uncle. So he was going to challenge the Buddha, and the Buddha gave him a teaching on feelings. Right? So as Tiganaka is listening, he becomes a stream winner. Whereas as Sariputta is listening, Sariputta becomes an arahat. You see, so two different people listening to the same teaching but at 10 different levels. Okay, it depends on their personal ability. In the case of Sariputta, he's been building up his paramis or his wisdom many lives before. So now, when you listen to the sutta, you study the sutta, you are building the groundwork. Nothing is wasted. So this is the wonderful thing about the Dharma. You don't waste it. This is what I feel happy. One of the joys of translating sutta. I tell myself, the little thing I do now will grow. Because tomorrow I add another paragraph and then another paragraph. And I know after the weeks and months pass, I have 17 volumes. That is already 17 years have passed. You see? If I say, I better wait another day, start postponing it, then I won't get it. That's the difference. So don't underestimate the little things you do now, the little meditations you do, the short times you keep your precept. You come for Dharma talk, you study the sutta, especially studying suttas for yourself. All these will build up. So remember what the Dhammapada says. Do not underestimate what is bad. Drop by drop, the pot is filled, right? And also, same thing, don't underestimate good. Same thing, it's good also builds up drop by drop. Right? So that's how we build up our wisdom. All right? So yes, Sariputta has built up this lots of practice in the past. So even as a young man, rich young man, he saw this hilltop festival. Suddenly he realized, wow, all these people are going to die within 100 years, So suddenly there's no meaning in life for him anymore. He was a very rich kid, very successful. He's like that kid with the monk who sold the Ferrari. Remember the story? The monk, he's a real guy from Malaysia, He comes from a rich family. He gave up all the wealth of the family, decided to become a monk. He has a Ferrari, So he sold away his Ferrari. And I think this is the kind of people who really become serious monks because they have tasted wealth. They say, oh no, that's not what I want, So you see the Buddha also is like that. The Buddha comes from a rich family. He has all the women and girls that he would want. So he said, oh no, these things don't work, So then he became Buddha, right? So in a sense, as a layman, you should live as happily as you can as a layman, see? So, in other words, make sure that you know what life is first. I'm not saying you should sow your wild oats all the time, no. But rather, you should at least understand what pleasures of life are, and then kind of indulge with them within reasonable limits. And then when you feel, oh, is that all? Then you know that they are not satisfactory, you give them up, then you know what you're giving up, and then you become a monk. Then it makes sense. There are young people today who come and tell me, say, all these girls are terrible, because they broke up with one girl, so he thinks it's totally failed, and now he wants to become a monk. I say, oh, please don't become a monk. It's not a garbage can for when you are jilted, it's terrible. You become a monk, after that, all the girls will come to you, and what's going to happen? So this is a wrong way to renounce the world. You renounce the world is because you have experienced the world so much, you say, oh, no, this is not what I want. So there's a big difference there, see? Okay? So as a layman, if you need to enjoy a bit of life in a reasonable way within the 5 precepts, go ahead, enjoy it. At the same time, look at it. You travel around the world, you see beautiful mountains, and you go to Venice and see the canals. And suddenly there's a flood there, and you say, oh, look at all these buildings being flooded. You say, oh, look at all these things. There's a lot of suffering here too. So wherever you go, you see this universal truth, even the most beautiful places. And then you reflect. The Dharma is everywhere. See the Dharma everywhere, then you find your life meaningful as a Buddhist. It's not just coming to a temple, for example, sometimes we go to hotels, we have more rest when we stay in hotels, especially if we go to KL to give talks. So you go to the hotel, you see there's an arrow there, it's for the Muslims to pray towards Mecca, right? So I always smile at the arrow, I say, wow, that's wonderful, it's nice they put the arrow there. To me as a Buddhist, it shows where Buddha Gaya is, right? Same direction, right? So I put my palms, I bow down in the direction to Buddha Gaya, right? So I'm a Buddhist. To me, that's the meaning to me. Then another occasion, I was going for this NUS talk, and then it was in a temple, very big old temple. And then I step out of the taxi, and I saw this temple in front of me. When I saw the temple as a Buddha, there's an image there, not very clear, far inside. I just put my palms together and bow down. And then this student who brought me says, hey, teacher, it's not a Buddhist temple, it's a Taoist temple. They happen to be side by side, you see. I said, is that so? I said, oh, okay. I said, oh, okay, it's a Taoist temple. No, I didn't bow to the Taoist temple. I said, because when I bowed down, I was bowing to the Buddha in my mind. So it doesn't matter if it's any image in front of me there. When I bow down, I'm bowing down to the Buddha in my mind. So if you have that kind of attitude, you have no problem wherever you go, you see. All right? There are many such stories I can tell you, but if you go to Facebook, there are some reflections I write about this kind of how to see Dharma everywhere. I have friends who are doing marathon, they run marathon, and they also do meditation. So they tell me when they are running, after a while, they choose, maybe it's their footfall, as they step, they feel that feeling, they reflect. Or they feel their breath coming in, going out, see? So you can see Dharma even in sports. So see Dharma everywhere, look for it, it's there. We're talking about impermanence, it's everywhere, all right? So if you don't read books, fine, but it's there, everywhere, look for it. Then you are a Dharma practitioner. Okay, you find Dharma is truthful, Dharma is always there, and it brings you happiness because you are in touch with it. It's not theory anymore. Then you tell people about this. If you're artistic, you begin to feel the joy of all this, then you can express yourself better. All right? So these are some of the ways you can be happy. Okay, so yeah, a bit more. If any more last question, yeah?
Is there any way you can help to monitor our mind at the last moment of death?
Well, you can say, for example, construct your favorite Buddha picture in front of you. So you can, use the picture for meditation during someone is passing away. Depends on what the person likes. Okay, I prefer peace, and then or some people they usually like, most old people they like to be at home, so you make sure they're comfortable. Then talk to them about happy things. Never talk about unhappy things. People who are passing away, and then just listen. Listening is very important to people who are passing away. Sometimes they want to give you last instructions and so on. All right. So decide what are the things you like. Okay, and then meditation is the best usually. All right. The simplest meditation, of course, is the breath. Okay, and then make sure there's loving kindness, and you combine the two, you find that keeps you at peace. Always combine the two. All right. So those are some of the ways.